I gotta put these bad boys on to sports mode. They don't have sports mode. I don't think I have to explain anything when I say that corporations have been within the United States for the past 100 years, and everything that they produced and made benefits most of the people within the United States and are consumed in the thousands of whatever variable you'd like to use every day. Now, when you go into any business, I'm sure you can find that not everything is black and white, because while there are the ups, there are the occasional downs. With every Coca-Cola, you have plastic in the ocean, so those things. But if I were to sit down, or I guess stand up with you here today and talk to you about the history of corporations within the not just in the United States, around the world, we'd be here for the next 80 years, and I want to make more videos. And there are already special people who specialize within looking at the specials of specials within the corporations. You get that? And I know you're probably going to look at this video and say, hey Nico, shouldn't you, with all this talk about corporations, shouldn't you be talking about helping small businesses and things like that? No. No. We are here to discuss something even more important today. We are going to discuss how well each corporation hydrates themselves, and if they keep themselves hydrated. Now, what is the criteria for this, you may ask? Well, there is no criteria. Let's go! Starting off with the big boys, we have Walmart. We have big old... I've got to stop doing that. So starting off, we have Walmart. And if you've been to a Walmart, you can see that they're in either some of the most congested, busy towns, or they're in the middle of nowhere. Or they're like right at that middle point. Walmart is one of the biggest suppliers of consumer goods all around the world, or maybe just within the United States. I didn't fact check any of this. So as it comes to no surprise, I'm sure a lot of you people will know that they stay very hydrated because within their stock and supply, they provide water, a lot of water, a lot of... You might be thinking to yourself, hey, if they already accumulate all of this water, then shouldn't that be an automatic S? No, that is not an automatic S. I'm grasping for straws here to lower their score. I'm sure whenever you go to a Walmart, you can see that there's a bunch of puddles laying around the concrete near the entrance of each of the buildings, and it builds up this slimy, weird sewage where you're like, well, when you go into the Walmart, it's all clean, and then when you go to the parking lot, you're kind of scared to go back to your car. So with that being said, I think I'll give it a B. Next up, we're looking at McDonald's big old Mickey D's, or as I call it, Mickey Q's, because that always throws them off. Every time I talk to McDonald's, they're like, why do you keep calling us that? Nobody has ever called us that, ever. Stay away from me, stay away from us.
Next time you break into my house, I will call the police.
McDonald's is probably the most iconic and the best-selling fast food restaurant within the whole entire world. So with that being said, that's got to keep it hydrated within the grand scheme of things, right? No. Well, maybe. Because a majority of the time you don't go there for the water, which is basically just like an S+ drink within itself. You go there for the sodas, and depending on where you are, they can vary between drinks, I believe so. In the South, I believe they sell iced tea, so that's pretty good. But all in all, you'll usually see your fair share of Cokes, Diet, Pepsi. For some reason, they don't have Diet Coke, only Diet Pepsi. And then they'll also have High C, which you haven't seen in years, but they only sell at McDonald's for some reason. And then, the mother of all omelets, you get the McDonald's Sprite. You get the McDonald's Sprite. That thing is chef's kiss. It does hit different. It really does. So deduction because you don't really go there for the water. Unless you do, then what's wrong with you? I'm giving that a B. KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. What do you get at KFC? You get the chicken, of course, and the chicken itself is pretty immaculate, and then you put it in the fridge, and then the next day it's not that good anymore. But when you do, it's always crispy on the outside, and then wet on the inside. I really wish. I gotta look into my thesaurus for a better adjective other than wet or moist or smorched. But with that being said, Kentucky Fried Chicken doesn't keep itself hydrated. Do you know why? Example A, they're biscuits. You could get the wettest, there it is again. You could get the moistest, you can get the wateriest drink that you can. And then you eat the dry biscuits that are really good, but again, that's the key word, they're dry. Nobody eats a Kentucky Fried Chicken biscuit and goes, oh, I'm so full. or hydrated or whatever. No, you're on the ground. You're choking, and then you're trying to cough up that biscuit because you're like, oh. You sound like that. That's exactly how you sound. Everybody sounds like that every time they eat a Kentucky Fried Chicken biscuit. Because it's so dry. Why is it so dry? Well, I mean, I get why, because it's a biscuit. But that deducts you highly in the hydration standpoint, so C. Bojangles. I love you, Bojangles. I miss you. They don't have it here in the north. Why don't they have it here in the north? I believe that it is better than Popeyes or KFC. I feel like it is the best of the chicken trilogy. Because the chicken never goes bad when you refrigerate it. It's always good. And the biscuits are also not that dry because they're also very, because they're also kind of wet. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me that has a problem with the word wet or moist. Hey. I don't need to explain to you the very famous corporation Wizards on Deck with Hannah Montana, but I gotta tell you that they're very deceiving. And you might be thinking, well, it's the Sweet Life on Deck, right? Well, it was on a cruise ship, but they're on a cruise ship. They're surrounded by water. Well, you know what? You're wrong. You can't drink that water. It'll kill you. You can't drink salt water. And nobody really keeps themselves hydrated. How do they all survive? I'm sure they all don't. I think it's all just like a mirage, a figment of our imagination, because behind the scenes, Mr. Mosby would go up to everybody. He like call everybody up to the main deck where there's like that weird swimming pool in the middle for some reason that they don't clean. And then he's like Pepsi Man, and that he like sucks the moist. He goes like this, he's like, and instead of giving you Pepsi, he steals your nutrients. He devoids you of your water. So that's why, like, it's a cut scene, but you'll see how, like, London and Woody, Zach and Bailey were, like, on one side, and then Mr. Mosby was, like, giving some sort of weird chant. He was like, and then they were like, no! And then they were all devoid of their water, and then they all died. That might be a B. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, I do love Coca-Cola. I love me a good Coke. They are very hydrating, I should say, but they're also very expensive. You're getting points deducted. Do you know why? Because every time you go to an amusement park and you want to get a nice old sip of Coke, it's $6. How come whenever I have to go to Disney, at Disney World, how come whenever I want to go to a place like Magic Kingdom or the Epcot, I want to go to the Japanese section and then the Italian section, which is on like the other side, or like the Chinese section, which has air conditioning. And then when you go there, you can get either a custom drink for $5, or you can, you can get a bottle of Coke for $6. Why? Why do you do that? I get advertising, you got to recompensate the money somehow, but still. And also, you're getting points deducted because you had Coke in your recipe back then. So B. Peepus. Pepsi is very similar to Coke in that it's also very sugary, but not to some certain extent. You can taste the difference. I don't know why you can taste the difference. You just can. It also points out because there was no Coke inside of their ingredients back then. But wait, nope. I got another transgression. I don't know if that's the right word. You're getting points off. Do you know why? Because every time I want to go to a restaurant and then I order a Coke and they're like, "Is Pepsi okay?" No, I don't think Pepsi is okay. You can taste the difference. Maybe you're looking after my health, so thank you. But I want to damage my insides with Coca-Cola, not Peepus. And then sometimes the Pepsi will taste kind of watery, and then you're like, well, I guess not. And then a majority of the time, this has happened like 5 times, where you order a Pepsi, and then they're like, and then they give you a water, and it's like, whatever. The B. Dunkin Donuts. I guess they do keep themselves very hydrated, right? Because they do, for a majority of the time, sell coffee and different exclusive drinks. They sell the Coolada. And if you put in the strawberry and whipped cream, it tastes like a cheesecake. And also the vanilla bean. Oh, the vanilla bean is immaculate. The blue is actually my least favorite, even though that's my favorite color, as you can tell by my channel art and everything. And then during the fall season and during the summer, they have the butter pecan flavored. One of my best friends, Jack, was like, he texted me one time when they came back, and I was super excited. Because he was like, oh, the the almond butter pecan tastes just as good as I remember from last year, and then the gas leak happened. S. Starbucks. Is Starbucks good? Yeah. Did I know that I was supposed to savor them? No. My sister would order me like the $5 double chocolatey chip frappuccino with whipped cream. Why did I memorize that? And then I would finish it in like 3 minutes because, you know, it's a Starbucks. It's a coffee drink. It's caffeinated. You gotta savor everything because it's an expensive drink. But I was like, oh, this is delicious. I'm so full of cigarettes. I'm kidding. They don't put cigarettes in Starbucks. I didn't even imply that. I just said that out of nowhere. Oh yeah, I'm also, so if my sister is watching this, I'm using your room, so hi. But yeah, I guess they do keep themselves very hydrated in Starbucks, because, no. Points off. Because. Maybe it's because I'm not very suited with the Starbucks audience, in that I have to learn a second language every time I want to order a drink. And then I'm always so scared because I don't know your Starbucks vernacular, and then I feel like I'm gonna get laughed at because I'm gonna say like, I don't know, I'm gonna say a large instead of a grande. It's like going to like IHOP or something and ordering like the tickle pickle fruity snack, whatever. Or a cold brew coffee. And also, maybe this is completely irrelevant. Maybe this is personal. This is all personal. You have one of the worst Christmas slogans I've ever heard. What is Merry Coffee? Is it a play on Merry Christmas? There could have been like some sort of better pun that you could have come up with. And you put it on like the nice little plastic cups that bleed microplastics. But it's... I really, really don't like that slogan. Merry Coffee. Merry Coffee. Merry Coffee. Merry Coffee. Hey. Sheetz. I'm gonna give a shout out to Sheetz, which is pretty much like the 7-Eleven and Quickchek, but in the south or around the Pennsylvania area. It's a lot better. It's much bigger. It's really nice. You keep yourself very hydrated there, because not only do you have all the run-of-the-mill general goods and services, well, maybe just goods that you can get within the corner, they also have a section dedicated to beer. And they also have a section dedicated to like a whole array of energy drinks and just water and different types of water. It's amazing. There's a really nice one. I used to visit the one back at my college, Roanoke College on Main Street. There's a really nice one there. I would go there a lot with Riley, and then for some reason, I didn't know this, when I left for online classes, it burned down, and then it came back up. So good on you, Sheetz. You're still thriving. So S. Quickchek. I would say Quickchek has better sandwiches than Sheetz. What? No! I would say Quickchek has better sandwiches than Subway for a lot of different reasons. Quickchek will get like a B because it's also pretty much just like 7-Eleven, except with the exception of the sandwiches and foods. And we're not here talking about foods. We're here talking about water. That's completely derailed off of hydration. Michelin. Michelin makes food, but they're mostly tires. Does the Michelin man keep himself hydrated? Well, that is debatable. Because, well, yes. Is it ethical? Questionably. Because you see, with the Michelin man, he has to maintain that form. And that is not easy. He has to maintain his malleable moisture. He's like Baymax, or Baymax was inspired from the Michelin man. So how does he do it, you say? Well, you know, he could say, oh, it's the tire, the air, it's like water, H2O. That's water. Now you might be thinking to yourself, like, oh man, how does he keep himself hydrated? Is it the air? Oh, maybe it's from the... No. You see, he does it, it's just like Mr. Mosby. He's just like Mr. Mosby. In the Peepus Man commercial, when he's like, oh... When he's like... And he's just sucking out everybody's souls, he's pretty much doing that. I think that guarantees it, that it will get a C. Sweetwater. Does Sweetwater keep itself hydrated? Well, I don't know. It has water in the name. It's true they make instruments, but maybe they get bonus points because Dave from Sweetwater keeps calling you. It's very nice. It's kind of overbearing though, but thank you for being so generous, because they'll call you for, like, you'll order, like, I don't know, strings, or maybe a little wire or something that's like $5, and they'll keep contacting you. And it's like, hey, it's Dave from Sweetwater. Just wanted to know if you got your order already. And when you say yes, thank you so much, they're like, oh, okay. And then they call you again, and then they show up to your wedding, and then they show up to your baby shower, and then for some whatever reason, Dave from Sweetwater is now the godfather to your child. I think that's gonna put it in the B tier. Dasani. Now, Dasani, you are water. You are immaculately, exceptionally, what they would define as water. However, are you really water though? How come whenever people drink you, you're so dry? Like every time people drink you, it's like our mouth is drier than when we're parched. Why is that? And then that's the only thing that you find around, like, again, Disney World or Universal. And they're $6. Maybe that's an over-exaggeration. They're $5. They're all $5 within vending machines. It doesn't have to come from our water. I'm so desperate. Stop making it so salty. And to a lesser extent, like Aquafina as well, I think. Taco Bell. Taco Bell is most famous for making some of the best small snacks that of all time from any fast food restaurant, and then taking it away within the next 2 weeks. Give me back the Gordita Crunch, Taco Bell. That is not a threat, by the way. They're also known somewhat for their amazing drinks, most notably the world famous amazing Mountain Dew Baja Blast. That thing is, oh, it's so good. I thought you could only get it at Taco Bell, so I would order some nice small snack and then take it with me. And then I went to ShopRite and I found out that they sold them commercially within a pack of 6. And then I looked at the sugar. 63 grams of sugar. None of which are natural. 63 grams of included added sugar, which means that's all artificial. Additional. Artificial. I'm MF Doom right here. Please don't take it away. You saw how famous it was, Taco Bell. And bring back the others too. You'd be very famous. Then again, you'd probably be stressed. Or make it a seasonal thing, where you get all these snacks that you've accumulated and ideas that you've made that people loved, and then bring them back for like a seasonal roundabout. That is a little bit more stress, but you can handle it. Ow, I hurt my jaw. How do you hurt your jaw from doing that? I think that's a B.
Toyota.
Toyota. Have you ever seen a car submerged in water? I think that's a B tier. Waffle House, you're not really known for your drinks. But you do have the Waffle House Index, because you are so immaculately good at having a disaster response for whatever reason. So, with that being said, that must mean that you keep yourself hydrated and prepared for anything. And with that, I'll give you an S.
You can't have a rainbow without rice. Oh!
Panda Express. Does it keep itself hydrated? Well, I don't think so. I think because the panda died. They call it Panda Express because they turned the body of the panda that was used for the picture into a locomotive. It's still alive. You people can hear its screams. Every time you hear a bullet train, you'll hear it go like, help me. Oh, please. Oh, Panda Express. It's crying for help. Gotta help it. You gotta help it. Yes. You right there. You. See.
Huh?
Subway. Do they keep themselves hydrated? Well, the vegetables are okay. But I guess they do get points deducted. Because, how come I'm not allowed to make everything I want, I can make any sandwich that I want. I can put as much lettuce, cheese, and tomatoes. I even want the plastic on it, and I'm not allowed to have it. Why can't I make my own drink? You have the fountains over there, where they're like, oh yeah, get your own. Why can't I get piss in my cup? Why can't I get a custom piss peepus Coca-Cola, made out of the piss or whatever of the toilets of the subway. I thought it was eat fresh and make your own thing. I added that verbatim. I made that up. But still, everything has got to apply. Everything. This is a problem. You mean I'm not allowed to add my own piss and shit into the sandwich? I'm not allowed to like boink it up like that and make like a panini. I'm not allowed to get I'm not allowed to get a sandwich that's not toasted and then toast it by flattening it in the panini flatbread maker and then blame you, even though it was completely my fault. Why am I not allowed to do that? Why? It's so unfair. And with that, I have to give you an A. I think I'm done here. I think I said everything that I needed to say and everything you should know.